Here we go.
Yes.
Rose and Robert Reyes, thank you for being here today. You guys are the founders of King's Compassion.
Yes.
And, I've known you guys for a while, and I really don't know too many people that have as big of hearts that you guys have for God and for the demographic that you serve, which I feel is like a lost demographic, the elderly, the seniors. There's always a need in our city, and you guys have found a need that I think that's super important to serve, and I just want to commend you guys for that, and welcome you here today, and just have you guys kind of talk about that and how that started, and what kind of drove you all to do this.
Yeah.
So,
well, first of all, thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
We're
You're welcome.
Really blessed. We appreciate it. I'll let Robert kind of start off
Sure.
a little bit.
Okay.
Just as far as the King's Compassion and.
It's going to take a while.
Well, the thing that, hey, Robert,
did we say there was going to be a time limit?
There's no time limit, Robert. You just got about 10 minutes. That's it.
Okay. All right. 2007, I went on a mission trip to Mozambique, Africa. And over there, when it's winter here, it's summer over there. Well, it was summer over there, and it was 120 in the shade.
Wow.
And we went to Heidi Baker's orphanage to do a missions trip over there. And during an afternoon service under a tent, under an awning. Now, you got to imagine, Mozambique, Africa is filled with red clay. Spirit puts you on the floor, you're just eating clay. And they said, you were down there for hours, Robert, but God was just telling me over and over and over again, get out of what you're doing, and I'm going to give you something new.
Yeah.
And that was in 2007. I did nothing for 4 years. I stayed where I was at, which I was helping another nonprofit organization. I was his assistant. I was his handyman. And until 2010, 3 years later, I went back to that same orphanage. Now, 2007 was very primitive. They didn't have bathrooms. They had latrines surrounded by a bamboo wall. Forget the privacy. You got to go, you got to go. But I saw so much children, barefoot, flip-flops, and we did the mission trip. We were there 21 days. But they would have services on Sunday mornings, and the worship. They didn't care if they were barefoot, torn up shorts, dirty T-shirts. When the Spirit moves, everybody's dancing, everybody's jumping. And I had my 35 millimeter camera with me. I still have that album in 2007. Went back in 2010. They already built a church. They had a nice roof. And it just, confirmation for me. Time to move on.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so I know when we think about, so in 99, Robert and I started volunteering with another nonprofit in the Southtown area long before it became gentrified and developed as it is right now. And, we literally would go door to door to meet the families and let them know what they offered because they focused on children and youth. And it was really in the process of doing that we felt very drawn to the seniors. I think some of that, I don't know, maybe some of that has to do with the fact that Robert and my mom were both older when they had us. My mom was 44 when she had me, and 45 for my mother-in-law. And they lived to their 90s. We praise God, and we got to help take care of them too. And so, but it was seeing how they really, for some of them, you could tell that they were lonely, that they didn't have a lot of social interaction. And even if, sometimes you can be even in a house full of different generations and still feel alone.
For sure.
And so we saw that so much in our seniors. So when Robert had the opportunity to go on these trips, it really was just a lot of confirmation. The reality is that Robert is a very systematic person. But I remember when he started, volunteering, even after work, he would volunteer with the nonprofit and he would just say, I could do this. I could do this. But Robert's not the kind to take a step of faith on his own. And so in 2003, before the calling ever came, Robert fell down at home, cutting limbs, and broke his back.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. And so that was a life-changing experience for us, definitely a life event. And so Robert had worked for many years for Central Freight Lines as a dockman. Well, he ended up being disabled for about a year and a half, and they could only hold his job for a year. So he lost his job of 24, almost 24 years.
Yeah, they gave me a retirement plaque of 23 years for your service, and have a good day.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I cleaned out my little locker and walked away from there.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back since.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of when it started, After that, we had to say, okay, Lord, what do you have next, right? And so he started serving with his, finding his own support and all. And so then when this happened with, just his calling and knowing that, okay, this is what the Lord has called us to do, we did. It required a step of faith.
Did you feel when you were in 2007, when you felt God was speaking to you, was he telling you to start your own nonprofit, to do your own thing? Is that what you were kind of hearing?
Correct.
That it was time for you to go off and
he was going to give him something new.
Yeah.
Well, at first I started serving the poor on Halloween morning of 1999. Funny thing about Halloween, I met my wife on a Halloween in 1979.
Really? Okay.
And we were
Our
married
joke is that
1 year later.
I got the trick and he got the treat.
That's cool. That's good.
But we were going around the South Side through another organization. And after we finished, I said, oh, my God, I'm gonna go into a rough neighborhood. Well, I better go with my wife because she started volunteering at that organization. I better go with her, start knocking on doors, and somebody may just grab her, take her inside. I said, I better go. And then after we did that, on Halloween of 1999, it was in the Southtown area on the South Side. And I said to myself, I can do this. And something happened. I guess God heard me. I guess he
probably said it's about time.
He did
like, this is someone I can use.
And I guess 4 years later, I fell off my back, and fell off that tree in my backyard. And I ignored him. I denied him for 4 years. And I said, no, I don't want to leave my 45 a year job. I was making some money. And I guess when I fell from 12, 15 feet with my chainsaw still running, 3 feet from me, it was still turning. It's like God looked down and said, okay, forget about your job. Now I have something for you. You going to listen to me now? And the rest was history. And I don't regret 1 day, 1 minute.
So when did King's Compassion officially get started?
So we started in February of 2011.
Yeah.
We actually started with the seniors that were there in the Southtown area. We agreed with the gentleman that ran the other nonprofit that there was no conflict. So we started there with those seniors, and which really was great because we had already built a relationship with them.
What was your mission at first with those seniors?
So our mission.
When you started, like what was your main goal at first?
Our main goal was really, and we've been doing this since the beginning, has been to really try to provide for them, right? Mm-hmm. So even with simple things like doing stuff around the house for them that they might need, doing some flooring, doing some painting, with the exteriors of their homes. And then it wasn't long after we got started, once we became a 501c3, which happened in August of 2011, we were very blessed that the application process is quite a beast. But I thank God that we got approved on our very first time. And so we knew that was him. And so then we started with providing groceries for them. So, and we've been doing that ever since. So when we first started, it was small. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Robert would even do their lawns and stuff for them. We started small, and because we knew there wouldn't be salaries, I continued to work in the marketplace. And Robert was the one who would kind of do full-time, with our seniors. In fact, I used to tease him because I would say, it's not fair. You get to spend time with our seniors and all I get is all the paperwork. What's up with that? And so, but we did that for 5 years. Robert did that on his own, and then I really felt...
I was the only King's Compassion there was for the first 5 years.
Yeah. And it was really about building a relationship with them, especially previously before our numbers started growing. We would spend time visiting with our seniors. Sometimes they just need that contact. They need to know that somebody sees them because they are out of sight and often out of mind for people. So we would spend time visiting with them as well as helping them with some of the other things. And then 8 years ago now, it's hard to believe, but 8 years ago, I felt led of the Lord to take early retirement, which was a huge step of faith.
For sure.
But God has been good and he's been so faithful. And so we have really been able to grow. When we think about from 2011, for the first 10 years, we operated out of our house.
I know. I remember that.
So our big tease with God is like, okay, we didn't realize you gave us a big grand room because it was supposed to be a warehouse. Yeah. But we made it happen, right? And
it actually started in our garage. From our garage, it went into our living room. From our living room to our dining room.
And you'd
have
our
dining room to a guest bedroom.
You'd have boxes and bags full of groceries.
You had wheelchairs, you had walkers, you had diapers and pull-ups, and we had no living room furniture. We had no living room furniture. All we had was that dining room table, and it's still there. It's still there.
It is. In fact, it's funny because we do love to entertain and have people over to our house. So if they did happen to come, it was like, welcome to our maze. Go through here and you can sit at the table. But it was great. We look back at it now and it got a little chaotic toward the end. But it is just so amazingly rewarding
for sure
to be able to do that. So for us, as we gradually started growing, we grew as much as we could in our house. We literally used to have the table set up with all the groceries, and volunteers would come there and pick up everything, and they used to follow us to our seniors' homes. At the time, and then we would drop off the groceries to them and find out if there was anything that they needed. So always very much about them. The focus on them and wanting them to know that all we are doing is for them.
Well, most of the people you serve don't have kids or don't have their widows, right? So there's not a lot of support.
Yeah, there's not. And you'd be surprised. I would probably say of all of the people that we serve, maybe a couple handfuls might have some support from family, but most of them really don't. And so, And we have a lot of who we call our senior orphans that they never married, they never had children, and they often took care of their own parents. They've lost siblings, it's them, and they have no support. So for a lot of those seniors, we are their family, you know.
So as you've grown, how do you say acquire, but how do you get more seniors to serve? Is there a process for them to be part of your ministry?
Yes, and I will tell you that has been one of the biggest challenges that we have, even though we've been able to overcome a lot of that. And the reason I say that is, you know, yes, we're all on social media, right? But the reality is our seniors aren't. And most of them still have landlines. And some of them have maybe a simple flip phone that the government provides for them, you know, as an example. And so for us trying to find those folks, so when we first decided to move into the West Side, because we realized that when I was doing some research for a grant, I realized that the 78207 zip code is not only one of the highest poverty zip codes in our city, but in our nation. And so I told Robert, okay, that's where we're going. You know, we're going to start serving. So I remember we printed a bunch of flyers. We went out to the West Side because we were going to pass them out and meet the families. But everybody's gates are locked, you know, or they have big dogs, you know, and it's like, okay, I don't think this is going to work. So then we had to really kind of rethink, how are we going to do this? We really need to meet and promote King's Compassion just everywhere so that somebody knows somebody.
For sure, yeah.
So then what we started to do was we started to go to some of the senior centers. We currently serve in 14 zip codes, and mainly high poverty zip codes. So what we started doing is going out to some of the senior centers, going out to some of the low-income apartment buildings for seniors. We started going to resource events, as well as even sharing who we are with different people in the community and even in the city with the district, so that some of the constituent services know that we're around. And so now we get calls every day. So, you know, we would pass out our flyers because a lot of times people don't even know what resources are out there available for them. And they don't even know to ask. So we would, you know, provide them with our flyers, and a lot of times we'd put together bags. We would call it our Essentials for Seniors bags. And so during COVID, as an example, we might put like paper towels, toilet paper, disinfecting wipes, and laundry and antibacterial soap. And we'd put our flyer in there. And so we'd give all those bags out to the seniors. And some of them would tell us right away, oh, well, you know, we don't qualify. But I said, but if you know somebody else that does. And even with the people that don't qualify, one of the things that we do is we try to find out what is it that they need. And we'll try to provide them with a resource in the community that might be able to provide that for them.
Well, what's the parameters for someone to qualify?
So we do help folks. When we first started, it was 70 and older. During COVID was crazy. COVID was crazy for us. But because of COVID, we lowered the age to 65. So everyone in the home needs to be 65 and older. The exception that we make to that is we do have some of our seniors that are still taking care of mentally or physically disabled children. And so we make the exception for that.
Gotcha.
And then one of the other requirements, of course, is income. So we are trying to help the ones that need us the most, right? The poor of the poor. So it had always been 100% of the federal poverty level. 2 years ago, because of inflation being so ridiculously high, we increased it to 110%. So as an example, a single person living at home, if they earn $1,381 or less a month, they would qualify. And for a couple, if it's $1,874 or less a month, they qualify. But the reality is you hear those numbers, but the average income of most of the people we serve is about $900.
Wow.
Which seems crazy.
Wow.
You know, but it's reality. And so imagine still living in your house, right? Trying to maintain your home, pay utilities. You know, most of our seniors don't even have central air and heat. They can't afford it. and they don't have it in their home. So like we provide, fans and heaters for them as an example, as some of our seasonal items. But for them, imagine trying to live on that. Just medications alone.
Right.
Are outrageous. And then, so besides being able to help provide, so some of the things we do for them, we want our seniors to be able to age in place. Everybody wants to be in their own home for as long as they possibly can, right? I know I do, And so for us, we think one of the biggest needs is the food security. So we actually provide them the first Saturday of every month. In fact, that'll be tomorrow. First Saturday of every month, we will give them 4 bags of groceries. So one of the bags has paper towels, toilet paper, laundry detergent, and dishwashing liquid. And then the second bag that we give them has some toiletries. So we alternate some items, but it will have like disinfecting wipes, toothpaste, deodorant, soaps, antibacterial soaps, shampoos, Kleenexes, even little sponges for washing dishes. Because guess what? One of the things I learned was they can't buy that with food stamps. And that stuff is not cheap. So we provide that for them. Then we do give them a bag. The third bag that we give them does have some canned items, but we really try to pick things that we know they're going to use. We're not going to give them stuff that is like, what do you do with this, right? And we will never give them anything expired. I've heard people say, well, some items are still good even after their expiration date. And I'm thinking, we are trying to tell our seniors that they are valuable and precious, and I'm going to give them that? What kind of message does that give, right? So we always give them that along with fresh rice and beans. And then the fourth bag that we give them, we all love sweets, even our seniors that are diabetic. But we have had a nutritionist look at everything that we give. So we'll alternate like peanut butter and jelly and applesauce and puddings and fruit cups and granola bars and oatmeal. And then everybody gets a loaf of bread. So that's pretty much a standard. Now we've started to give them bags of produce and fruit too. But we're always looking for what else can we give, to them. So we were very blessed. Shout out to Kielbasa. They're going to be donating for tomorrow links of love. So links of sausage for our seniors. And
awesome.
Things like that are a super special treat.
For sure.
For our seniors because they don't always get those things.
Well, what's been the hardest thing as you've grown and served more people? You have the space limitation at your house. Now you have a warehouse.
Yes.
As you've grown, what have been the challenges to be able to support and serve?
I would say probably some of our challenges have been not only some of the financial aspect. We're so, so grateful. I will tell you, we're only a staff of 4. And and we get stretched like big time, right? But I will tell you that I am so proud of our team because I say we're small but mighty, right?
For sure,
And determined to have a great impact, in the community that we serve. So we are very blessed because we have lots of volunteers that help us. We could not possibly do what we do without them. During COVID, we quit using volunteers. And at that time, I think we were serving like 45 families. And so Robert and I were doing everything, And so believe me, we learned to appreciate our volunteers all the more, right?
Yeah, during COVID, try buying 150 disinfected wipes.
Oh, yeah.
Antibacterial soaps.
Yes.
Wow.
I said, oh, no, you could only take one. I said, I need 150. So you had to shop around. 10 over here, 10 over here, 10 over here. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the community helped us a lot, thank God.
It's tough.
So volunteers, the continual accrual and recruiting of volunteers, but we're so thankful that for the most part, that's really been provided. And we have a lot of recurring volunteers that come even with their family and children and help us. So recruiting enough volunteers for the growth as we've grown, and especially 2023 was a big year for us. The other thing has been that our process has had to continue to evolve. So I'll give you an example. So we do have a warehouse, and in our warehouse, we have probably about 350 square feet of a climate control area. Mm-hmm. Well, some of our groceries have to be put in that climate control area. Mm-hmm. So it used to be when we first started in the warehouse.
Your little office?
We had, we didn't even have that for a while. We would set up the tables there in that little climate control area. And hey, we didn't have that many seniors, so we could do all the sorting and bagging of the groceries and loading and everything from there. But as we started growing, it was like, okay, let's rethink this. And so we've had to constantly be stepping back, evaluating how do we do this. Mm-hmm. So I will give you an example. So during COVID, we had 45 seniors at the beginning of the year. We lost 11 during COVID. But we thank God none of them were actually from COVID, so that reduced our numbers, right? And but from the end of 2020 to 2022, we had grown to 100 seniors that we were helping. Yeah. So then we were very blessed with some funding that was going to help us to grow. So our goal was that in 23 we wanted to grow by 75 seniors. We actually grew by 86, which when you consider that type of growth in 1 year,
for sure,
we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We just knew that we needed to be able to grow and we were going to make it happen. So we did. So we were constantly evolving. So then it was like, okay, we can't do it in the pantry anymore. We're going to have to move out into the warehouse space. So we've done that, and it's constantly changing. Mm-hmm. Now we can only put certain things in the pantries because we ran out of room. So one of our challenges is space. The current lease that we're at is good through October of next year. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that we are going to need more climate.
Are you already outgrowing that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have to modify.
It is.
That's a good problem.
You got to modify. You have to overcome. You have to adapt. You got to start cutting the fat. Yeah. This. You got to move this, remove this, and
this is something you're learning as you go.
Oh, we are. Yeah, we always say it's like changing a tire on a bus going 60 miles an hour on the highway. That's what we're doing constantly.
Well, this is, at the end of the day, this is a ministry, but it's also a business, and you have to kind of learn how to treat it as a business, make sure it's functioning, and you use your resources smartly, and then as you grow, kind of set those goals to achieve them
constantly. So our goal then, so that was for last year, and our goal was another 75 this year, and we will meet it by December.
Wow.
And so that's a lot of.
So Robert, how do you manage? I know you do the yards and maintenance of a lot of these homes. How do you stay so fit? And is that because of your cutting the grass? And do you still climb trees, by the way, and cut limbs and branches?
Mama doesn't know about it.
Well, what you don't know won't hurt her.
It might hurt you.
Well, even though Rose is the chief executive officer and the co-founder, I am the other co-founder. I am president. I am the program manager of King's Compassion, which means that's my warehouse. I clean it. I maintain it. I fill it. I record it. I inventory it. It's fun to shop for all my seniors. I call them my seniors because they're mine. They're mine because they have nobody else. They have nobody. And when, oh my God, it's starting. It's when they tell you, Robert, you're the son that I never had. Yes, and I guarantee you drive through an old neighborhood, an old poverty-stricken neighborhood, and you see high brush in the house. Good chance there's a senior in that house. The worst part about this organization is not just doing what you do. It's, you got to say no. You can't let it overwhelm you. Right now, King's Compassion is doing 21 yards. Mm. By the time you finish the last one, it's already time to go back to do the first one. I said, Robert, how do you do it? Don't focus on the heat. Focus on the servanthood. Mm-hmm. And after I look back and I see a yard that was so high, it's something they could be proud of. And the reports I get, I'm not doing yards. Believe me, I'm not doing yards. I'm not delivering meals. I'm not delivering pull-ups. I'm not delivering walkers. I'm not delivering bladder pads or a lamp or this and that. I'm delivering hope. I'm delivering hope. You've heard of drug dealers? Well, I'm a hope dealer. And it was for Esther Vincent, 92 years old, who told me, Robert, I want you to paint my house so I could be ready for my departure. For Irma Reyes, who passed away this year, chronic arthritis in a wheelchair. We actually gave her a scooter. First ever. 13 years, somebody gave us a scooter. Wow, an electric scooter. And I even have lunch with her when I would do her yard. And she says, Robert, I never married. I never had children. I don't even know what it's like to have children. But you and Rose are my children. And it's that ray of sunshine. Yeah, and I was the Easter Bunny last year. They dressed me. We couldn't find an outfit. Yeah, that would have been great. Like on the Christmas Story, the bunny outfit. Yeah. I love. I've been trying to get hold of those. But they painted me up and all that stuff. I still have the picture, but I did it to make a fool of myself for my seniors. Because if they could forget their poverty for just one moment and laugh with me, it was worth it. Yeah. I don't cry when I'm at work. I cry when I'm on my way home. I am not ministering to them because at the same time I'm helping them, they're ministering to me. Because we are now better people. I'm a better person. What servanthood did, and you know what? Thank God that I fell off my tree, because when I was doing a Bible study in the rain, my son called me up and said, Dad, lightning struck one of the trees. The back split it all in half. I didn't own a chainsaw. I didn't own a ladder. But God made a way. Sterco, you're stubborn. Now you're going to listen. And I have the best job serving the abandoned, the lonely, the poverty, the scammed, the robbed. Yeah. They just want someone to talk to. And you know what? If they say, you're my angel, you're the son I never had, I always wanted to be an answer to their prayers. Be an asset. I'm an asset. I don't want to be a hindrance. I always wanted to be an asset. Be that miracle. Be that answer to prayer. I said, wow, I didn't expect that. And it's all I had to do was say, yes, Lord. Here am I, send me.
That's so
inspiring.
I'm going on 25 years serving the poor. 13 of those years with seniors.
It's so inspiring, and I think the hard part is for us to listen and to obey. And I know I struggle with that. We don't know And I pray for clarity all the time. It's like, what is your will, God? What is it you want me to do? And it's scary because sometimes you feel like maybe you do have a calling and you still question yourself. Is this it? Am I supposed to do this?
Yeah.
But when you find it, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
And,
I remember when I worked in the corporate world, and I remember somebody asking, what would you do if money was no object? But the reality is, I think part of the reason that, when God gave Robert his calling, Robert didn't even say anything to me. But I already knew something was coming, right? But, fear grips you, and you tend to think, no, not me. If anyone had told us we were going to be doing this, I'd have said, I think you've got the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
You're way out of left field, man.
And working with seniors, and yet God allowed us to be trained with our own mamas and parents, and we loved and respected them, and that's the way we are with our seniors. There is no other nonprofit in the city of San Antonio. We have over 1,400 nonprofits here.
Wow.
And there is not another one that does what we do.
Wow.
All of our services, all of our goods are delivered to our seniors. They don't ever have to go anywhere because we focus on homebound seniors.
Well, it's like I said when I mentioned is like this is the forgotten demographic. And
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate because even like what you said, when, some of these seniors that within their home that have, they live with their kids and then they got grandkids, even to your point, sometimes they feel alone even then when they're surrounded by their family or other people. And it's a tough thing, I guess, because it's, we get to that point where we're too busy kind of doing our daily lives and taking care of our own kids. Yeah. And then, my mom and dad, I try to talk to them daily. And you don't think about the time when it's going to get to that time where they're going to need more help. And I mean, I do think about it, but you want to be able to be there to support them and help them as much as you can, as much as you'll want your kids to help you.
Yes, absolutely.
So
when I used to take care of my mom, and my mom was treated like a queen. And so, I'd sit her in the car and I'd open the door for her and I'd look at my daughter. I said, you see this? You see what I'm doing?
You'll be there too.
I'm modeling it for you. This is what I'm going to expect. And so, but it's funny because our children have seen it too. My son, my daughter, my grandchildren, now. And so, I look at it this way. It's like, yes, this is a very real need in our city. But you know what? We're the solution.
Yeah.
We're the solution.
That's awesome.
And when people come and partner with us, they become part of the solution.
Right.
Because the one thing that every person on earth alive right now has in common is we're all getting older.
We're all going to be there.
We are all getting older. And so we're all planting seeds. So how do we want to do that? How can we look to who we can work with to help somebody else? Because in our society, it's sad. It's a lot of self.
For sure.
It's all about me and my time and what are you doing for me? And it's like, you know what? Oh, if I could do anything regardless of money, I would be doing what I'm doing right now. No regrets. Yeah. Absolutely no regrets. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. No greater call could I expect to have than what I get to do.
Do you still serve at the church?
Yes.
Yeah?
Still there.
You still doing ushering?
Still there.
I looked up to you, man. When I used to usher, you were always, I think you did the first service, right? And I would do the second service. And the one thing I always looked at you, because you were always real clean and
he looked like a hitman, right?
I was gonna say that, but
I don't. It's hard just to.
But you're like, guys, like just
sit down.
Just like
I'm always serving.
You remember that guy from Scarface at the end with the shotgun and the sunglasses? No, I'm kidding. But that's he was because that guy was real serious, kind of walked around, but he was just like. But obviously once we got to know each other, like I just knew. I was like, I looked at this guy and I was like. this guy is a person of excellence. Like everything that you do in your presentation and how you look and how you serve was just, and that's like, encourages other people. Like you set that standard and that model. And I really never wore suits. Never. I mean, and then I started wearing suits there, partly because, you, and then there's, obviously a lot of good people serving there as well when we were doing the ushering and stuff. But I just remember that. It's like, man, and this, have you ever heard of there's like in companies, they call them, you have the one guys, the two guys, the three guys, and the three guys are the guys you got to tell something to do 3 times. You got to remind them. It's like, hey, can you do this? And the two guys like, well, I have to tell them again. But the one guy's like, if you tell them one time, it's going to get done, or you don't have to. And then that's what you embody is like that person that his word, bracelet, right? Like we talked about earlier, but it's just you just commit yourself to something and you do it and you dedicate yourself to it. And that's just really, that's awesome. It's a testament to obviously to your personality and who you are. And this is why this is a perfect fit in regards to what you're doing right now.
And I will tell you something about Robert. Robert, well, can seem quiet. He's not. But when Robert does something, it is as unto the Lord. I'm telling you, when he does a yard, I'll put him up against any professional any day.
Yeah.
And so once a year, we select the home of one of our seniors and we renovate and paint the exterior of their home.
Yeah.
And so last year we did our 10th. We took a break this year. We've done 10 houses, right? And so we chose this couple to do their home. And here is this couple living on $800 a month. And they're still paying on their home.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Crazy, right? So we chose their home and it ended up, it just seemed like a Murphy's Law kind of house, but thank God we got through all of it, right? So one of the things that we do is when we paint their home at the very beginning, we tell them, you get to pick the colors you want to paint, right? And so their house was white with pink trim. And so I said, so what color would you like to paint it? And she says, oh, no, I want it the same. And I said, really? This is your chance. We're painting your house. And so she says, no, I just wanted the same color. It's my little dollhouse. And we said, okay, well, that's what she wants. That's what she's getting, right? So we finished the project, did it. I'll tell you what.
It took us 8 weeks. It took us 8 weeks because this was the first house in all of our houses. We had a lot of volunteers. But it needed roof damage. It needed foundation work.
Wow.
Sweet Jesus, buddy. And we even did his garage. It needed half of his roof. In his garage, it needed work. The porch needed work. But it took us 8 weeks, and it's supposed to take us 30 days.
Wow.
And at the end that we finished, the two girls were already in the van, and she broke down on me. She broke down in Spanish. She says, Robert, why do you continue to bless my house? He says, I'm going to do the best I can for you and for your house, because I'm a believer that when you adopt that person, you adopt the property that goes with them. Okay? And I did. It's a beautiful house. It's out there off of G Street. If you know the area, Rolling Highway 90. Yeah. On the other side of Little Red Barn. Yeah. Out there. That neighborhood.
So a funny thing I want to share was that, here we've been, like I said, this was our 10th house, right? So afterwards, we did a little video, with the owner of the house, and then they invited us to go inside and have some, pan dulce and tea. So I asked her, because they have children. And I said, have your kids seen the house? And she said, oh, yes. And they were amazed with the job that you all did. And I'm thinking, all right. Nice. And so anyway, one of her daughters asked her, why did you pick the same colors, Mom? She said, and this is how honest she was. Well, I didn't know what kind of job they were going to do. So I figured if it was a bad job, you wouldn't be able to tell. And I thought, oh my goodness. And I said, you know what? That was a huge aha moment. Yeah. We have pictures of the transformations of those houses.
Every last one.
We have had some that have needed lots of, and even though most of what we do is cosmetic, right? They have a new house when we're done.
That's awesome.
You know, and so, but I thought, thank God she was honest enough to say that at the end and tell us, well, that was really the reason why.
What was her name? Hernandez. Teresa Hernandez. She went home too. But when we finished her house, she told me, when you painted my house came alive. When my house came alive, I came alive. What does that do?
Yeah.
Well done, good and faithful.
Yeah.
It's so true. Your surroundings are going to, if you're in a dark, spot in life, or dark time in life, dark place in life, and you're surrounded with your environment that is like that, then it's just a downhill trajectory. But then when you start kind of, updating and fixing and helping, improve it. It's like you said, the hope, it's the uplifting, and it's like it encourages you to kind of just keep fighting. And then one of my friends does a ministry also where she kind of comes in and renovates rooms for some of the abused children. And so, but to inspire hope, right?
Yeah.
Because that surrounding that they're in, you want to be able to be in a place of comfort that gives you, that feeling that you still matter, that you're still worth it. And
absolutely.
That's so important. People don't think about that. Yeah, you can come in and drop off food or deliver groceries and help with some medicine or whatever needs. But I think the environment that they're in, I think is as important, if not more.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it, and as you grow, you mentioned grants. How big of a factor does the city help with what you're doing?
Right now, we actually applied for a grant. It was ARPA funds that were left over from COVID, and it was a specific grant for food security. So that was part of our motivation in growing these 2 years. So we've been able to get some funding for some of that growth, right?
Is it so? It's mostly local funding, or can you qualify for like state funding also? Or?
So that's what we're just now. In fact, we just met with a grant writer yesterday to see about getting additional funds because we definitely need funds.
But it's interesting how as you grow, now you're kind of exploring into these different avenues and parts of the. I don't want to say politics of how you have to.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you what, we're extremely blessed. When we think about it, from the time that we started, we never did a fundraiser until 2 years ago.
Wow.
It has all been just people that believe in what we do.
People that you know
that we know that believe in what we do, and they donate, And then 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, we've had a philanthropist, Kim Rapier-Verrett, who is with Kim's Angel Funds, and she has been an angel for us. She's the one who helped us to be able to move into our warehouse that we're at now, and to actually start being able to at least hire, some staff, because it had always just been, Robert and I, and we weren't even staff. So, so we've been able to do that now. And then, slowly as the city is getting to know us, we're applying for more grants and have been getting some of those. But the reality is that, grants always only serve a percentage. We're still, our goal is to keep going out into the community, and not only individuals that can donate, but of course, businesses, churches, This is a biblical mandate, to take care of the orphans and the widows. And 87% of our seniors that we serve live by themselves. And most of them are women. We have the greater percentage of the people that we serve are women. And so So this is what we get to do. So we want churches to come alongside us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been very blessed that we've had some churches come out and do a serve day with us. So they've been helping Robert like with lawns, or they've been helping us with some of the grocery bagging, or some of them have even provided some of the groceries, you know, that we give out and helped us even bag them and stuff. So we are extremely thankful, you know, for that.
How many elderly do you serve right now?
Right now we're up to 200.
Yeah. And do you have a goal to keep growing?
We want to keep growing.
Yeah.
We want to keep growing.
Can't say
by,
no,
How many yards can you cut, Robert?
It's hard to say no.
That's the only part we've actually had to put a wait list on, because Robert can only do so much, and as much as he enjoys it, he does manage the warehouse and everything else. As a matter of fact, today he'll be going and picking up bread and sausages and having vegetables and stuff delivered. So there's a lot to be done, right? There's much to be done.
But it's interesting because, like, as you grow, and I think God can open up doors and help with the resources and the people that need to, or can help you grow as well. So. You just have to put your hands in and just keep doing it, you know. It's just funny how you sometimes wonder how things happen and how, you know, God always has his hand in it somehow or another. And, you know, you can always, some people say, well, there's something out there, you know. And this is kind of the thing that I don't do a good enough job of, even in my own life, is I am very grateful and I'm very faithful. And I do know a guy that's always kind of been there helping me through the tough times. And even as you grow, the hard part sometimes as we become successful in any endeavor, whether it's a ministry or a business, is like you forget where you came from and how that all manifested. Because, you know, when you are in the tough times or the challenges, you know, that's when you kind of lean towards God more, like, hey, help me, you know, give me some clarity, give me some guidance. And then when you're running and rolling, it's like, wait, where's God? Oh, we got to keep him and still, you know, in mind and always kind of just looking at him to help us, you know, with our resources and just the provisions that we count on. And really to, like you said, to help people. That's the biggest thing, even now. And as I've become more seasoned in my business and in age, I think that, you know, you start thinking of things differently. And I just feel like in my heart now, and I've always been very generous and giving and even through the church. And I just love to serve as well and get inspired by, you know, people like you. But you just find out, I think, as you get older, there's a different type. For me, it's like an inner peace. Like, it's like, okay, this is like much more satisfying than anything else when you can help someone.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, it's hard to explain. And sometimes, like, when you have people that are selfish, like you said, I think it comes, you know, you reap what you sow, and there comes a day that when you probably wish you would do things differently. But I think it's important to serve and plant those good seeds, you know.
Mother Teresa said it very well, and I've never forgotten it. She has many quotes, but one of them was, let us touch the tired, the poor, the lonely, and the unwanted, according to the graces that we have received. And let us not be slow or ashamed of doing the humble work. It is very humbling. It is very humbling.
And everything, you know, I know we were blessed by you, you know, even helping doing floors for some of our seniors, you know, that had a hodgepodge in their house. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this, you know? And so everybody can do something.
For sure.
You know, all of us can. And so for us, it is about, we've learned that for ourselves, you know. I thank God that we have, that God's always kind of given us a heart to give. But I remember specifically at a service and standing and declaring, I said, the Reyes will be known for being givers, givers of their time, talent, and money, you know. And you know, there was a time when we could sow a lot, even financially. And then when I took early retirement, it's like, oh, that's over, you know.
No.
And I'll tell you,
when she took early retirement, honey, I'm going to take her early retirement. I said, oh, okay, honey, that's fine. Oh my God, we're going to lose our house. We still have our house.
You talk about the fear factor, right? In fact, we paid it off. Thank you, Jesus. And but but the reality is that it's like you look at your life and you think about everything that you've learned and everything that you've gained. I always used to tell my employees, every job teaches you something. And I said, so those are all building blocks in our life, right? But it's all ultimately for who else can we help, right? And that's what brings the greatest joy. Family important, absolutely. Marriage important, yes. Even ministry, obviously very important. But it's what drives us. It's what drives us to what we do.
Yeah.
And what's our standard in life. And so for me, I just keep thinking about how everything that I've learned, all the experience that God gave me, even in the corporate world, and all of the favor that God gave me, it's all been for where we are right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so nothing is wasted.
That's
right?
awesome.
Nothing is wasted in our lives.
It's like when we're all going to see God one day. We're all going to see Him.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, all right, Robert. And he's going to put in a DVD of your whole life. Okay. You did.
Just kind of fast forward to when I was on my back.
Yeah, can I pick the ones that we're going to watch?
You did this. That looks pretty good. You did all right. You did all right there. You did all right there. Okay. Then he's going to put another DVD in there. And this is what he's going to say. He goes, this is who you could have reached. This is who you could have helped. This is who you could have saved. That's the DVD I'm afraid of. I'm always fearful. Am I doing enough? Am I helping enough? Am I serving enough? Am I saving enough? What else could I do? Who else could I help? Who else could I serve? Who else could I work for? And yeah, my body's taking a toll, tinnitus, cataracts, severe acid reflux, high blood pressure in this business? No, not for me. And I'm literally sacrificing my body for my seniors. Why not? Why not? It's called sacrifice. I'm going to do it. I'll die for my seniors. And then this is probably the last job I'm going to do. I mean, I'll be 66 next month, man. What am I doing? But it's, I love my favorite scripture. My favorite scripture of all. Job 29, 11 and 12. And I've shared this everywhere I go. It says, it goes like, those who know me spoke well of me. Those who saw me commended me. Because I rescued the poor who cried for help. And the fatherless who had none to assist them. Job 29, 11 and 12. And I'm every morning looking for that one person who's crying for help. Be that shoulder to cry on. Be that angel. Be that solution. Be that son that they never had. Be that asset. Be that miracle. To be that wow person. Like, wow, I didn't expect that. Because it's true. Carry it for 1 mile, go 2 miles. Do more than you are asked to do. Do more. Help more. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. And I just trimmed my trees this week because brush pickup was coming. And my neighbor right there, boy, Robert, if your wife sees you on that roof, she's going to kick your. Well, that's a different story. But it's.
But that's awesome because that gives you purpose every day to keep pushing forward and striving to help people. And I think that's what everybody wants.
Yes, we do have purpose every day.
And that's hard because some people don't have that. They don't know what that is. But I don't know how else to say this, but I just don't see you failing in any way in not reaching people. And it's a good goal for you to try to hit every single person, as many people, but it's impossible and it's hard. And so I wouldn't beat myself too much in regards to like fearing that DVD that's going to show you who you didn't help. Because I think you've done way more than anybody in their lifetime has done. And so I just think you are an angel, man. Both of you guys. And I think it's inspiring, it's encouraging, and it's definitely one of the reasons why I wanted you guys to come share, what you do, what you want to, keep doing, pushing forward. Do y'all have anything specifically, any needs right now that you need help with that here in the short term?
So for us, there's always the aspects of volunteers, as well as, even on our website on kingscompassion.org, we even keep a list of everything that we actually provide for our seniors, not only the groceries, but we actually even provide items like hygiene items. So adult pull-ups and bladder pads, wipes, bed pads, that kind of stuff we provide for our seniors.
Heaters, fans. Seasonal items.
Yes.
But do you get people to donate that, or do you all kind of partner with?
Sometimes people will donate.
Okay.
We'll donate that too. We've had even groups, maybe organizations that might do a food drive or something as an example. They can do that as well. And then, of course, always for us, it is a lot of the financial support, and then as well as always looking for seniors. We're always looking for more people to serve and help, because we know that there is a lot of need. So I know we do have a couple of fundraising events that are coming up. We have one on the 21st of August. We're going to do a bunko night at Chicken and Pickle.
Oh, nice.
And then in October, we'll be having our Harvesting Compassion breakfast event, where we'll be honoring someone in the community, one of our councilwomen who has done a lot of work with the senior population. So,
Have y'all thought of incorporating any lawn companies to come help and supply their time to help with this?
We've actually just been talking about that. We had a group come out, and there were some professional landscapers that came to help.
I think there's some good resources there where they can come in, donate their time, and serve on Saturday, and just find a handful that can help rotate once a week with all the properties. And because you can't do it all by yourself, Robert. So
no, and thank God we do have some volunteers.
Yes,
we offer folks that if they want to do it on their own time, they have their own equipment. Fantastic. Robert will just let them know this is the house you can go to. Now, one thing we do with all of our volunteers is everybody has to fill out a one-time volunteer form, because that allows us to do background. We do background checks on all of our volunteers, because we are very protective of our seniors, and we're going to take good care of them.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys. I just thank you for coming in. And I don't know of many people with greater hearts than you guys. Honestly.
Thank you for inviting us.
No, man.
Thank you so much, man.
We've known each other for a while, and I love you all, and just get so encouraged and inspired, and just that level of excellence. And thank you for the bracelet. Embrace the suck. That's the daily challenge. In order for us to grow every day, we got to embrace the suck.
It means, your day isn't always going to go as planned. It's not going to be perfect. Deal with it. Suck it up. Suck it up. Just do the best you can.
Listen,
over it.
Like I said, listening to you and knowing what you do, I can do much more myself, and I can't complain. So, King's Compassion, it's a worthy cause, worthy ministry, and I just, like I said, commend you guys for that. And if anybody wants to donate, go online, go to the website. Go
kingscompassion.org.
And and if I ever get people that are looking for a ministry that'll help the elderly, I will definitely say I know some wonderful guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Really appreciate it.
Robert, love you, brother.
All right, man.
Rose, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Because Christmas is right over on the corner. We do Silver Angels. So in the community,
like the angel tree.
Oh, okay.
So same thing.
We're still recording, so we can always throw this in, do a little bonus content at the end. So what do you do?
So during Christmas time, so one of the programs that we do is called Dignity. So we want our seniors to really feel special and know that they're remembered. So we acknowledge like their birthdays and Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's, Easter.
Mm-hmm.
And so we also deliver meals during Thanksgiving to them.
Yeah.
But at Christmas time, we ask them what they want up to $30. And so then the community gets involved. It's called Silver Angels program. So what we do is that we'll set up a tree with some of our little wooden angels that'll have the name of our senior and some of their wish list, right? And we'll set those up at different places throughout the community. Some we've set them up at apartment buildings, at churches, businesses. And then the people there can go ahead and adopt a senior, and they sponsor them.
Okay.
And so we'll take the gifts unwrapped, and then we do a big wrapping party, and then we have volunteers that come as well to help deliver
that's awesome.
some presents to our seniors.
Last year was special because out of the 200 that we passed out, we adopted a nursing home.
Wow.
So another
It happened
100.
to be the nursing home where our seniors,
Some of our seniors too.
at one time, they had 3 or 4 of our seniors.
Yeah.
So we delivered 105 there.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And my daughter and myself, we posed as Santa Claus.
Your granddaughter
My granddaughter.
was Tiny Santa.
We had a blast. Yeah, that was
So
like,
you got all
very
dressed
cool.
up as a
Yes.
Santa Claus?
Oh, yeah. They overnighted my suit on Amazon. Man.
The nursing call.
The beard didn't look as fluffy, so this one was better.
Oh, that's
It
awesome.
was fun. It was fun.
Looked like somebody from Duck Dynasty.
Well, do y'all do anything for Halloween? Being that that's kind of a special day for you guys.
No.
No treats.
No.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good thing. Good job. Thank you guys again. And I'll just look forward to helping you guys also as best as I can.
Halloween will be the 44 years we've known each other.
Wow.
Halloween. We met at a Wednesday night Bible study.
No, sir.
Oh, here we go.
Halloween.
Here we go.
It'll be 45 years.
We're married 40.
It'll be 44.
I was
It's
just
a
testing.
40 Yes.
Anytime
we'll be having our 44 because we met Halloween and we got married the next November 1st.
Okay.
So
We didn't want to get married on Halloween, so we waited 1 year and 1 day.
So it's 45.
it'll be 44 years
44 years.
that we're married, but 5 years since we've met.
That's awesome. Well, continued blessings.
Yay.
And
Thank you
guys
very
again.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.